Afternoon, everybody. I'm walking past the iconic praying mantis down here at Container Park on Fremont and 7th Street in Las Vegas, a real landmark. I wonder how many of the hundreds of thousands or more people that come by every year really realize that this site is the site of the deadliest bombing in Las Vegas history. I'm guessing a lot of people don't know about it. Stick around, I'm going to tell you. Go inside and look around a little bit. I consider places that have had mass murders and mayhem committed on their property places of respect, places of honor, and kind of equivalent to a cemetery. People died here on this site. We look around today, it's a place of fun. Families enjoying themselves. Beautiful mid-spring day here in Las Vegas. A few people are aware today of the violent history that Las Vegas has had in terms of bombings. Lefty Rosenthal, the casino manager, who mobsters tried to blow him up in his car on a parking lot on Sahara. Lucky for him it failed. It became the stuff of legend and the movie Casino. You had the bombing of the Alpine Inn, which I covered before, which all revolved around the Union of Culinary Workers, the head, Al Bramley, insistent that the Alpine be unionized, the Alpine Inn. And when they refused, the Alpine Inn was bombed. Luckily, no one was killed, but because, according to Al Bramley, the union head, they did not do a good job. The bombers, the father-son team, decided to take out Al Bramley when he refused to pay the bombers, the father-son bomber team. Really sad. And then, of course, we have the TWA plane bombing on the Tarmac at Mccarran Airport. So, you know, it has been quite a history of mayhem here in Las Vegas, but you would not know it today because the mob influence here is very minor. On January 7th, 1967, about 1:30 in the morning, an explosion rocked downtown Las Vegas. Blocked down the street, the El Cortez, the lights dipped on the gambling floor and went out for a period of time. And the ground shook as if there was a tremendous earthquake taking place. When the patrons poured out of the El Cortez Hotel, well, they saw a sight that was more reminiscent of a bombing in Vietnam than the streets of America. They saw people covered with ash in various states of injury moving towards them up the street, Fremont Street, towards the El Cortez. Must have looked like something out of Night of the Living Dead. Anyway, police investigated. The motel had a huge section of it torn out. 6 people died instantly, I would imagine, and almost a dozen were injured. When police investigated, it didn't take them too long to determine the source of where the bombing took place. And there was a U.S. Army private who had deserted and gone AWOL because he had been disciplined multiple times, and I guess he knew his career in the military was over. His name was Richard Parrish. He and his wife Christine had checked into the motel, and well, the rest is history. How much, what was the ordinance that was used? 50 sticks of dynamite totaling 20 pounds in all. most devastating blast to rock Las Vegas. In a way, it's amazing that only 6 people were killed and about a dozen injured. If it had been peak tourist time, who knows what the toll would be. The Orbit Inn, which is where the bombing took place, used to stand on this site in Container Park. Eventually it was torn down, stood empty for a lot of years. Now you see it's a site of happiness with the big fire-breathing praying mantis. But to me it remains hallowed ground. And the site of the deadliest bombing in Las Vegas. And I mourn a little bit for the dead. I sure do. Richard and Christine Paris are buried side by side in a cemetery. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but the headstone inscription reads, "Happiness and light." Just as a side note, Christine Paris was not at the hotel when the bombing took place. She was on her way back to the room. So at least Richard Paris spared her. That's another story of true crime and mayhem here in Las Vegas. I hope you enjoyed it. The site of the deadliest bombing in Las Vegas history, the Orbit Inn, now home of Container Park in downtown Las Vegas. Hallowed ground indeed. Well, if you enjoyed the content, thumbs up or appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. I love to do the long forgotten stories of history, particularly in places in Las Vegas. As I said in the beginning, hundreds of thousands of people per year pass through here, and I doubt one single one of them is aware of what happened on this site at 7th and Fremont Street. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thumbs up or appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day.
you.